Woo, so we had another BlizzCon this year. It's finally over. I think the air cooled down, so we can take a proper step back. Now, after all the excitement and all the, humble jumbo hype train is gone, we can take a step back and look at it a bit more analytical, I would say, a bit more mature. But first, remember to hit that subscribe and notification bell. Thank you. Now, Flame, let's start with World of Warcraft. You started off.
Okay, well, World of Warcraft started with obviously a really cool cinematic, although it did raise some questions and maybe upset a couple of people, a little bit myself included, because I wanted Bolvar to be a little bit more of a badass. But I'm actually keeping my hopes up that he will reclaim his glory later on in the expansion.
And we will have a video on the whole lore surrounding the Shadowlands and what's the whole idea about them.
My overall impressions are that I would have hoped we would see more. What we've seen so far is pretty good. We're getting classes kind of reworked, but they only talked about the abilities that they're bringing back. I'm hoping there's more to that, and I think there's more to that, but they just didn't say anything, probably because they don't want to back themselves into a corner.
I have a conspiracy theory on that.
All right. In terms of the actual content in 9.0, I'm super excited for the Torghast, Tower of Them. I think that's the thing that I'm most excited about.
Yeah, and the Covenants.
The Covenants, the zones are also really cool. It seems like they take a different approach to the leveling bit, which I'm totally for.
Yes.
We had our fun with you can pick that zone or that zone, but now I want to, I want a story. I want from point A to Z. I want a cool narrative.
Yeah, organically. Now, what my feeling is, what they showed was pretty weak in the sense that they actually did not have that much to show. When we're talking about talents for the classes, class revamps and stuff like that. Now, Ian did say that they don't want to go to Legion levels of revamps, but there still be a lot of stuff. So my thing is, next year's BlizzCon will not have that much to show. So I will put my money on this. Being so early in development, the Shadowlands expansion, I'm thinking that they'll not release it as they did previously in the summer. I'm thinking more in the holiday season, which would make next year's BlizzCon a WoW-related panel where they will probably announce a new class, the new talents, abilities, and stuff like that. I honestly believe what they showed, they had to show something because they needed a good rep. But it's clearly early in development. Plus, everybody's like super upset that there's no new class, which I agree. Every great expansion had a new class in it.
Yep.
It's a lot of discussion there, but that's my overall feeling. So I'm sticking to my guns. Next year's BlizzCon is gonna have still more Shadowlands, but a lot more to show, or maybe in a video like they used to do. Right,
yeah,
like how they did the patches.
Dev Q&A or just like announcement stuff, that could be cool. I'm also a little bit on the fence about the amount of content that they've shown, and usually expansions are released at the end of summer, and if we're gonna have everything that we're expecting to have and that they kind of hinted at towards, doesn't seem like they're gonna have enough time looking at how the BFA beta was, right?
Yeah.
And this puts into question a different thing. Do we want them to release it quicker? Do we want another BFA launch?
No, we don't.
And if not, then what are we getting? Something else? Are we getting an 8.3.5 that's a little bit longer, maybe a mini raid, maybe a new dungeon or something like that can keep us until 9.0 releases?
That's a lot to take in, but one thing to keep in mind, they have in the team 2, that's the WoW team, they have more people than they ever had. So maybe that will also add and
that
pump
could also
up.
speed up the development. Yeah.
But that being said, let's move it on to Diablo 4, which in my opinion was the highlight of the whole convention.
Yeah, same for me.
Yeah, they kicked it off as beautifully as they could with the cinematic, really gory.
9-minute cinematic.
Yeah, 9-minute cinematic with a lot of like details, blood everywhere and stuff like that. I know people were reporting that at BlizzCon, like at the convention center, they asked people to not bring their kids in for the opening ceremony because that shit was there. Plus, when we logged into our virtual tickets, you had to confirm your birthday.
To choose your date of
so it's definitely a good start for Diablo 4. And then moving on to the actual game presentation, still felt pretty early but that early build was looking pretty complete, I would say.
Yeah, exactly. And after the not the unveil, but the deep dive panel, Basically, the devs talked about the systems, the Diablo 4 systems, which I have to admit are pretty cool.
Yeah.
But again, everything seemed very early. What they had on BlizzCon to show us was a pre-finished demo, I would say.
Yeah,
but from what they told and discussed with the audience, it seems like they're still thinking about a lot of stuff. For instance, like PvP, like trading. They're still not decided about what exactly that's going to be. But, and this is very important, this goes to for WoW as well, they are very open to feedback, very open to suggestions. So you guys can hit up the websites, both Diablo and WoW, and put in your feedback and see what we can do with that, because it seems like Diablo 4 is still a ways to go. But again, I kind of want to wait a little bit more if we're gonna have.
I'm down for waiting. Yeah, I'm down for waiting. We saw what happened to BFA. Basically, their main issue there was they were not listening to feedback. They I think they had to respect a schedule to release it in August. If they break that mold, I'm fine. I would rather have a expansion launch that has all its system working and in place, and all of the promises made on the previous BlizzCon to be delivered. That being said, we can move it out to Overwatch 2. Now, I didn't watch Overwatch 2 live. I saw it on the virtual ticket, and I gotta say that was the biggest disappointment for me. Apart from the cinematic, which always makes me cry for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know.
It didn't feel it's a new game, man. It's the same engine, the same characters. You just have a couple of story missions, and it's weird because people with Overwatch 1 can still play PvP with people from Overwatch 2. Doesn't feel like a sequel.
I was actually thinking about that, and initially I had the same impression, but then again I thought that we did do a WoW Talks asking about people and a WoW 2.0. I think that's the same issue with Overwatch. There's a lot of stuff that people have collected and accomplished in the games in terms of cosmetics.
I get it.
Translating that into a whole new game with a whole new engine, that could pose a lot of complications. I'm not sure if that's the reason why they didn't go with a whole new thing. Personally, I don't really mind. I mean, I like Overwatch. I'm probably gonna play every season, something cool happens, and I'm definitely gonna try Overwatch 2. But if I wouldn't have wanted something new. I mean, the art style is still cool. It looks cartoony.
It's the same.
Yeah, it's the same. I don't feel strongly for or against. It's one or the other.
It was at this point. I knew about the rumors, the speculation. And then while I was editing, I was hearing stuff from the virtual ticket, and it sounded pretty exciting. And then I actually got to watch it, and I was purely disappointed. It doesn't seem like anything. It doesn't feel worthy for number 2. Maybe an expansion or something like that. But
I thought that would look more like an expansion than an actual sequel.
Yeah, exactly.
Now would have been fine. Like why not just make an exception? It felt a lot like they were trying to copy at the Activision model, where they release a new Call of Duty every 1 or 2 years. Except the fact that Overwatch was released 3 years ago. Yeah, so it kind of felt like they were just doing very minimal upgrades, but they're releasing a new game every couple of years. So I don't know. Maybe I don't like that model, but maybe that's why it is what it is.
Yeah. No StarCraft, nothing StarCraft related. Although
they announced
weird.
the Manx commander.
Well, I guess.
But it's not a new thing. It's just that would have happened regardless if this was BlizzCon or not.
Yeah. We got the Deathwing presentation on the Heroes of the Storm thingy, which wasn't a huge deal. They showed off skins, mechanics, all that sort of stuff. Also, we can tap a little bit into the opening ceremony, especially the moment when basically JL and Brack apologized for
that was a big one,
for the Hearthstone situation with the Free Hong Kong thing. And as I don't know if we got that into the first edit. I don't remember. I think we got it in the first video we did on BlizzCon. So it felt real. It felt that he was emotional over there. But as I've said in the first video, there was no action. He did say, hey, words will speak for them. No words. You'll see us do more. That's what he basically said. But I was expecting something actionable. Again, this is my point over here. Like, if you come out and start off the convention that way, which is respectable, don't get me wrong, he should have done that. I think it would have been for the best if you would just say, hey man, the suspension is down. There's nothing wrong of expressing yourself, because he said that. Yeah. He said that here at BlizzCon you will see, hopefully you'll see everywhere that we embrace people expressing however they want, wherever they want. So that's that on the opening ceremony gel and brack thingy. Plus the hair, man. What the fuck?
I don't know, man. That was so distracting. I was trying so much to hear his words, but it was like the hair is like over.
Yeah, because
it was kind of majestic, but not really. A little bit like a combination of majestic and creepy. It's like, dude, I mean, you have awesome hair, but maybe that's not how it should work. I don't...
Yeah, we were used to him coming all with the ponytail and stuff, and now he's like, oh, we don't mind long hair, but it was weird to see him like that, so screw it. What else? The Q&A, the WoW Q&A, I will say right from the top, Tally and Evie did a brilliant fucking job, especially Tally, man. He was not letting it go. Oh, yes.
I felt some tensions rise in the Q&A for sure.
Yeah.
I did like the fact that Tally asked the questions that we kind of wanted to hear asked.
Yeah.
And a lot of people in the audience. I mean, no offense to everybody who has the questions. You guys are awesome. I did hope that we'll get more gameplay related questions.
Yeah. Or why there's no class questions related.
Yeah, stuff like that. Maybe they've filtered those out.
They filtered it out.
Yeah, intentionally. And I can respect them trying to moderate so they're not forced to answer with stuff like, we don't know yet, we don't have anything, that's not in, or whatever. Maybe they're planning to do that, but again, it felt a little bit like, this is on point. It was time for another class, but there isn't another class.
And also, by the way, huge respect for Tally Essen for his handling of the whole Hong Kong chat, because we got that during the Q&A. I was expecting that. There's no problem. I think everybody was expecting that.
I was surprised it wasn't until then anything.
Yeah, well, we had the first dude that came up and he said free Hong Kong, liberation, revolution of our times. That's totally fine. But then we had a kid yelling, free Hong Kong, free Hong Kong. And Tally was brilliant. It's like, hey mate, do you have a question? Yeah, okay, sure. And he gave him the mic and he said his thing. And that was pretty good. I mean, that's how it's supposed to be. Hey man, here's your chance, voice your thing. He was a kid, but I love how Taliesin handled it.
Yeah, it was really good, man. Much respect.
Now, regarding the Q&A, we did get some interesting answers, which we will evolve in our lore video. So we're gonna make a Shadowlands lore video probably tomorrow.
Yeah.
So definitely more information on that. Now, as a whole, BlizzCon 2019, looking from my perspective at least, it was decent.
Yeah.
I gotta say I was expecting a bit more.
Yeah, me too. I think it kind of led into a situation where we all expected a little bit more because they had to.
Yeah.
What was announced was good.
For sure.
Yeah, but it felt like it's not that they didn't have anything more, it felt like they didn't have anything ready more.
It felt like they had to show everything they got, even if it wasn't really ready to show and exemplify too much, at least on the convention. Which begs the question, what will happen next year? That's where I got my whole train of thought with the conspiracy regarding next year's BlizzCon, because we have the WoW expansion announced, we have Diablo 4 announced. What do you think maybe next year, apart from my crazy theory that they'll show even more stuff from Shadowlands, like a new class and new talent system? Maybe they'll show the Diablo 2 remaster, we will speculate.
Well, I was actually hoping that we would get that this year, but again,
not this year.
The thing is, it does looking back at everything, it doesn't feel like WoW will be ready by summer. So that means that we will have another BlizzCon talking about WoW, which means that 8.3.5 will be long, and every time that happens, it was kind of bad, but last time it happened, we got Legion, so maybe it's worth waiting a little bit longer. Hopefully, I am hopeful if they give us an 8.3.5, something like Mage Tower, something that can keep us engaged, and try hard, and something like content stuff. I could stick around and bite my teeth, bite my lip, and say, okay, I'm gonna wait a couple more months. And
how does biting your teeth work? Well, they did mention that now that there's no more Lich King, the Scourge will be off the chain, so they're probably gonna have a pre-patch with that.
Yeah, they definitely want to have, and I was actually thinking that pre-patch could be longer now.
But who knows? I'm just saying that there's a lot of curiosity, at least from our side, what will happen on next year's BlizzCon, and with a little bit of luck, maybe we both will be there to report for you guys live. Hopefully, it's one. I think we can safely say it's one of our goals for 2020.
Please, we want to be at BlizzCon.
So there's a lot of speculation for that. Now, just to wrap it up, we want to thank you so much for sticking with us this whole 2 days. This were chaotic around here, like pumping videos after videos, like editing, watching stuff, nodding ideas. ideas down. It was crazy for us. I didn't think we ever done something like this, like at this rate. Like
no, and I think credit where credit is due. Marcelians did pretty much all of the work. I was just enjoying BlizzCon.
Well, next year's gonna be different. We're gonna be there.
Sure.
It's overall it was really awesome because we definitely got a lot of stuff in and placed out within the videos, and we're super grateful for you guys watching and supporting this stuff and discussing on Discord. Granted, we didn't have a lot of time to talk with the folks on Discord, but it was just
I know you guys are going crazy on Discord, and that's amazing. This is why we want our Discord to be a place to talk and expand ideas, and we'll get to you bastards soon enough. So thank you guys once again. Of course, salute all of our Patreons. Thank you for all of your support. Guys rock.
You keep a part of all of this thing going. If you're interested in becoming a Patreon for the channel, for guides, you know, weekly WoW news shows, stuff like this. Also merchandise, MarcelianOnline, also in the description. Have a great week ahead, guys.
Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Peace.